In with the roll call. Director Bill Friedland. Here. Director Bob Lux is here. Director Donna McAvoy.
Here.
Director Paul Shute and Director Dale Walker.
Here.
We have a pause. We have an agenda. We begin with the invitation and then pledges of allegiance. Heavenly Father, we come to you as an assembled body. We humbly request that you bless our meeting, our community, and our nation. Please help us to work diligently, always for the common good and in the best interest of those we have been elected to represent. Guide us to be insightful and prudent in our intentions, visions, thoughts, deliberations, decisions, and their fulfillment. Work through us to provide a spirit of welcome to all in attendance, to engage in respectful and thoughtful dialogue and discussion with understanding, wisdom, and humility. Amen. If you wish, prior to reciting the pledges of allegiance, please take an additional moment of silent prayer or reflection in the manner of your preference. Thank you. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Pledge allegiance to the Texas flag. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Antonio?
Yes, sir.
That's the correct pronunciation.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Well, good morning. Appreciate you taking this little time. I come here for just, I'm in an operator. From our side, I've been a master here for 34 years. I've been a speaker at AWPD and had 34 years of experience in the system. So, I came here to bring attention to the board of the problems of the first ownership that is right behind the fair, the recycling center, fair branch off of, Reserve Forest. We go there Wednesdays and Fridays, Saturdays normally when we like to throw the garbage from, the yard and recyclables. And the smell for this last 2 years have been really absolutely bad. I'm a wastewater person, 34 years, I can handle that. Deal with that kind of times. Actually, the operator said one thing when you walk into the plant and pass next to the leak detector, oh, it's good today. And people said, what you mean it's nasty? Yeah, but it's good sewage. It's healthy and we're gonna treat this well. Or he come in and said, oh, I got a problem with such section of the plant because of the smell. One of the major. The smell of that when you buy that. And it's not that was once or twice. I understand sometimes the operator is working the digester to shut the air off for a certain time to decant the concentrate sludge so it can affect some of the holes and stuff. But this is putrid. It's not just a strong smell. I know they have big something construction of the plant. I don't know which extent of it. But I want to make the board aware. It's very strong. And we have noticed it on Wednesdays. I've noticed it on Saturdays when we go to the recycler right. Standing fence next to it. We noticed when we go to the gym, the recreation center. It was my motor fence. So we come that day, we come from the north of it. We can smell it. So as a resident and bring to your attention and see what has been done, and what can be done. I know something can be done, that's no doubt about it. The problem is, what is the process? Is there something that is in the process? Something start thinking about having an evaluation, or something to be done, whatever, but I believe there's something that needs to be solved. We have seen, actually, I posted something on, next door. And I've seen quite a few replies. Saying, yeah, it's bad, it's bad, it's bad. Some people call it TCU, NRCC, no, TCU now. And, they said because they don't live right next to it and they're affected directly, that, NRCC can act on it. That's a different story. But I think that y'all should know, that there is an issue and it's a very, very strong. Actually, I invite you to go there on a Saturday and a Wednesday a couple of times. And see it's not upset.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Just for clarification, that's what we call plan number 2? Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir. Very
You're
much
welcome.
for your insight and comments.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Sure, you're welcome. Okay. We have no other requests to address the board. All right, we have a couple of items that require requests for adjustment. General Manager Peterson, you want to introduce that topic?
Sure. We have, yes, we have, just for the board's understanding, item number 4 is a standing item on the agenda. That's to cover any adjustment requests from customers. If a customer requests to address the board, that's when you see an item that looks more like item number 5. With a specific count number there. So that's why it looks like it's there twice. It's just 2 different requests. In this case, I think the resident is not here for number 5, but I'll go ahead and cover both, if you will. And I sent out a little summary of each one. On item number 4, account number 67-0120-01 had a sprinkler system break. Originally, the customer, I think, was not on WaterSmart. They are now. About 196,000 gallons of water went through the break over a couple days. Their average usage is around 30,000 gallons a month for this time period over the last 3 years. That's how we average that over the same time period. Total credit, and also the policy requires that if the credit adjustment is in fact over $1,000, we bring it to the board's attention. That's another reason why we're talk about it here. So the adjustment after taking into consideration the policy and doing the math, essentially the adjustment and refund would be actual $1,043.37. So I need approval for that one.
Discussion on this matter?
Yeah, so the way the policy reads is you'll get the difference between retail and wholesale rate from the amount of water that went through versus your average. So the refund would be for the retail, the difference between retail and wholesale rate. And then they also get a one-time waive of the GRP fee portion. So those 2 numbers, the one-time surface water fee is $513.20, and then the difference between retail and wholesale is $530.17 for a total of $1,043.37. So that's the first one. It is. It's roughly 50.
Yeah.
That's what the math ends up. It's not technically 50%, but it gets pretty close. Give or take.
And just to clarify, recommendation staff to sign that this is in compliance with the policy.
Mhm.
So that's the It is. The adjustment of 1,043.37, which is in compliance with policy.
Right.
Further discussion? Hearing none, I'll make a motion that we accept the recommendation of the staff for adjustment of $1,043.37 in compliance with the policy. Second, please.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. And, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion passes.
All right.
Thank you.
Item number 5 is another one, actually similar. A broken sprinkler but in the back of the property. A little bit different. In this one, there was a washout that occurred due to the break. The break occurred the day of the hurricane, coincidentally, and then I guess they were out of town, so they didn't see it. And then it went for, I think, 4 or 5 days or so until they recognized it, and when they, I guess when they came back and addressed it once they came back, had the irrigation system repaired. We went in and looked at our sanitary. We have a backlot sanitary sewer line that's right in that area outside the fence, and the washout that caused, that came from the break, kind of eroded the washed out an area over our line. So we went in and covered that up and corrected the area outside of the fence over our line. And our line didn't appear to be damaged in any way. So we did look at that. She is on Water Smart. She was just out of town, and I don't know what the triggers were in terms of what triggered her. If she set up the reminders to trigger if there was a break, I don't know if they were set up there or not on her side, but because a lot of times what we ask folks is, if you experience a break, even if you're out of town, that's what Water Smart's for, to tell you that you do, and then you can call in and we'll go turn it off while you're out. So you're not, so the water's not continuing to flow, and then once you get back into town, we can, they can deal with it. But that didn't happen here. And about 242,000 gallons went through the meter over about 5 days. The total bill was 2308.81. And after running through the policy and math, her average is about 43,000 gallons for this time period over the last 3-year average. And the one-time adjustment is 636.80. The difference between retail and wholesale is 613.98 for a calculated refund or adjustment of $1,250.78. So $1,250.78 would be the adjustment. And that, to your point, is just under half. And there hadn't been a one-time adjustment prior, so we will be back.
So you're on Water Smart, which is.
I'm
already receiving it now.
I'll have to check on that. I'm not sure how they have their alerts set up.
Yeah, if we have their email alerts, will get sent out. Whether or not they acknowledge, I don't know, and it will tell us.
So they're sent out here, both things.
Maybe both, depending.
How they set it up.
They said,
We'd have to dig into the system to see if they said it or not. Our policy doesn't address that one way or the other. So one of the things that, since Water Smart and smart meters are something new over the last couple of years, one of the things we've been doing internally is starting to revise this policy, which is called RNS 14. And now that we have the technology at our fingertips to be able to track leaks, or and the customer in particular has the ability to sign up for Water Smart and be notified when usage is abnormal. And that's what I'd rather call it, because you don't know if there's a leak or not. It could be that there's just abnormal usage, but you can set it up to remind you or tell you if you're having abnormal usage. So I'd like to modify the and this isn't for today, but I'm just informing you that I'd like to adjust the policy going forward, and we're working on that right now to better utilize the technology that we now have. We never had that before, so.
I was gonna say one thing is maybe under consideration is, hey, we're giving you this adjustment, but we have to be on Water Smart.
That already is a rule.
Okay, good. You know, proceed.
Thank you.
Make a motion that we accept the staff recommendation of an adjustment of $1,250.78.
Okay.
Motion in a second.
Emails were going out since April, since a long time ago.
Know that we're all very compassionate for our fellow citizens, our residents. There is responsibility.
She registered more than 3 years ago.
Homeowners
And registered.
and,
Let's just do
the common good
See
of
what
all
she's
of our
got.
resident users. That's how I came to this conclusion. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Motion passed. Thank you. Very good. Anything else you want to say? Yes. No, sir. Oh, I thought you gave me that.
No, I've thought for a minute to ask a question, but.
Okay, I think that this may be addressed, Mr. Meeks will probably address this, or if not, I'm sure that he will put that on his to-do list. But we'll get there in a minute. Be patient with us, please.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. Okay.
Let's see, we are now to agenda item number 5, 6, 6, 7, and 8, the consent agenda, which is pages number 1 through 14 in our meeting packet.
It's gotta be an email. Be an email. But she, but basically likes to turn it off. If it was on it, I don't know about history, but if we have their email, alerts go out.
Right.
Unless they log in and register for it on. Right.
Max one, we see.
Yes, she's got none of them. No IUs, zero.
Accept the motion.
Just turn them all on. Just want to get in.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as submitted.
Oh, there's something on there.
Receive a second. Motion in a second. Further discussion, items requiring attention by staff as to what was submitted. Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstained? That- Okay, we are now to agenda item 10. Review and act upon the district's draft fiscal year 24-25 operating budget and recommended water rate structure. General Manager Peterson.
All right, we have a revised budget in front of you. There is no changes that we've made to the budget. We
Storm sewer,
Storm
yeah.
Which one?
Storm sewer repair. For the Kirkendall.
Oh, that is correct. Excuse me, I am correct. We did put in there some additional monies to address some additional storm sewer repairs in this budget year.
That's the 47,000.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
I got 74.
yeah,
It was 47.
Yeah.
47. And then to the left of it is what it's going to be, right? A little bit more because of some of the repairs. right?
Correct, that's right. And then I did want to update you on last month, you heard a presentation on the idea of modifying your DNO coverage.
Yeah.
So I'm making the recommendation to the MUDs to moved from 2 million coverage to 5 million, and it adds in about $2,000 annual premium
For all,
for all four homes.
extra 2,000 a year.
Correct. To go from 2 million to 5 million.
So is that prorated from that?
No, that's per month.
Well, each fund has to pay an additional
Correct.
2,000.
And that's the only adjustment.
Questions?
What is it that we pay for the 2 million right now? A month?
I believe that was just under $1,000.
Okay, so we're going from 1,000 to 3,000.
Correct. No, 1,000 to 2,200.
It's about 4,300 right now
Oh,
for the year.
Yeah.
All included.
What
4,300, 4,295.
total?
I didn't put that in there.
It's another 2,000
Oops.
from 4,000. To go from 2 to 5.
I understand about the coverage. I'm just trying to understand about the premium. Was, 1,000 something last year, and it's going to,
No.
Just totals 4,295 last year,
okay, 42.
and that's what's in the budget again.
And general liability, that's both.
Yeah, that's the total. I don't know the breakdown.
That's both.
Okay.
Earlier discussion at the trustees meeting, we had the same issue. Gun costs and, there were spiraling costs for, legal expense. It should be unfortunate situation that, this is a small increase to cover a substantial, that was the decision that was made.
And the trustees number was a little different because it does not include the GNL that yours does. The way that the policies are set up.
To approve the budget as submitted. Anyone? I'll make a motion to approve the budget as submitted. For the second, anybody, second? I'll second. We have a motion and a second. Further discussion regarding the approval, acceptance of the budget as submitted by staff. Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Motion passes.
You just added it. Sure. It's called Kirby Storm, that's what we called it. Piece of the note.
Agenda item number 11, consider action on policy RS 12, rates and water service. Again, general manager. Christian.
Yes, so policy RNS 12 identifies what your retail and wholesale rates are. And there is no changes proposed on the retail rates. But if you recall, estimates the GDP water rate, it's decreased. So we need to update the RNS 12 to document that decrease. That's a good part. Correct. That's your rates.
The second page here.
Yes. Page 2 of 2. So the 297, the top line. It's down. That's down. It's 340.
Okay, motion to approve the further discussion. Okay, motion to approve the action to districts. Excuse me. The considered act on policy number RS 12, rates for water service. It's going down slightly. So moved by Director Friebel. A second,
Second by Director McAleer. So, further discussion, anybody need any more information?
What's the question? Just out of curiosity, why is the base charge different? The themes are different.
That's,
Months. Some have the same tier rates, like 46 and up, the bases.
There are a couple muds that are in different financial position than you are. That,
Like 46, they have the same tier, but the base charge is different.
it's because they're,
Guarantee a certain amount of revenue. So you have it just on the tiers, but it's variable based on usage, but modified base rate. So, you know, the base guarantee, that's just that, so the following network connection back to base rate. So the additional revenue, that's one way to do it, because and to be clear, this modification of the RS 12 is a company reducing the surface water, the water rate, for the retail side, is staying the same. Illegal businesses going down the line, but we get not passed on increases.
well, that's a good point for the new directors. We went through a rate study to look at the retail rates last year and made adjustments last year. And it was the first time on the water side, I think in 8 years or so, there'd been a retail rate adjustment. We adjusted water and sewer last year. None proposed changes this year though. On the retail side.
Okay, you have a motion and second, we have discussion. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion passes. Okay, agenda item number 11. Excuse me, agenda item number 12. Conduct a public hearing regarding the district's intent to levy a 2024 tax rate. Brian?
Yes, sir. So as we talked about last month, this is a two-step process. We got the tax rate. But this year, so just to recap, first step is to take action, which should be last month, to authorize publication of the courier for the district's intent to levy that not to exceed the tax rate. The notice was published, correct?
yes, sir.
So that notice was to be published at a proposed rate of
4480.
94.80. And so today we get to the second step in that process, which is to first conduct a public hearing, during the regular meeting, receiving the comments regarding the published tax rate. Once we've received any comments from the public, we close that public hearing, and then if there's any discussion on the rate that was published, we'll have that, and you can take a vote on the maintenance tax and the debt service tax rate. So this time we need to adjourn the regular meeting, open the public hearing for any comments regarding the published tax rate.
Since it's not a closed session, it's just moving to correct. Move to adjourn the meeting. Second. Public hearing. Then, members of the public who wish to address this board regarding this matter. Hearing none, thank you, sir. And so we'll close this meeting and we'll reconvene.
Okay, that'll take us down to item number 13, to consider the levy on the district's 24 tax rate. So we said, you know, the rate that was published, 13.4480, that is comprised of 0.044 cents for debt service and 0.094480 for maintenance and operations.
Make a motion, someone, a motion to, act upon the establishment of the adoption of the revised rate, which is, as commented earlier, down a bit from last year's rate.
That's correct. Last year's rate was 0.14603. That's about 10%. 0.1348. That's
Second. Seconded by Director Shu. Further discussion on this matter? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Motion passes. Thank you. Okay, Brian? Yep. Secretary of Sign. Agenda item 14. Approval and execution of amendment for the 12th amended and restated district information form. Brian, I believe that's yours. Isn't it?
Yes, sir. So as we do each year, once we adopt the tax rate, we have to amend the district information form, which is required to be recorded in the property record by the water code. You have a lot of factual information about the district. One of those pieces of factual information is the tax rate. Also attached to the district information form is the notice to purchasers for folks that buy property in the district with providing that is telling them that they live by, this is what the tax rate is, et cetera. Since we've now adopted the 24 tax rate, we need to amend that form to incorporate the 2020 tax rate. That's making its way around for each.
Okay. What do I have to do?
Take action to approve the amendment to district information form without fixing.
So that would be a motion.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Receive a motion to approve and the execution of amendment to the 12th amended and restated district information. We have a motion by Director Shu. Second, everyone. Second, motion by Director Shu, second by Director Freehold. Further discussion regarding this matter? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Passed. Thank you. Okay. Agenda item 15, Mr. Meeks. Good afternoon, sir.
Afternoon. I just have a few items to go through. First is, do have financials this month. So you have May on one side and June on the other. Not get July completed in time. That's little quirks they wanted to work out, but this is completely more than you had last. I'm hopeful that we're gonna get July next month. No promises, because they may just choose to save that effort and pass out the annual comprehensive financial report later this year. Conferencing everything all together, but do have financials to see where we're sitting at it now. Get those financials in your packet, beginning on page 22. The projects have also been updated as well with financial data as of July 1st. Let's go through there. You can see there's one or two that are closing out. We won't see next month. Next month, you're going to see some more updates there, and you're going to see other projects that are going to be closed out as well. So some of these projects that still go past due, we're just waiting for updated financials so y'all can see actual versus budget before we close it. One thing I do want to point out on page 23, underneath the yellow highlighted section, the owner's advisor for plan. This is the contract that the trustees approved, I believe, last month or the month before, for the cost comparison of the rehab versus replacement outlet for plant one. Budget the trustees approved was up to $500,000. The contract is roughly just under 500,000, 499. So the two numbers you see here is 550,000 and 559 are incorrect. Did want to point that out because we did follow what the trustees said. I will have that corrected for next month and go forward. That is all I have on the package. Before I move on to discussion further. If you have any questions.
So, you know, response on yours?
Yes, sir.
Please, appreciate your insight.
So I'm at plant two at least once a week, sometimes twice. I personally haven't smelled the odor, but like you said, sometimes when you're in the plant forever, you get, you know, things get used to it. Air's doing good. Air's around 4 or 5 milligrams per liter. The SPIs are good. Soluble solids are good. Percent solids are good. Some of this matters to some of y'all, some of it does, for just letters, but I'm going through my head for the past few minutes trying to figure out, okay, what could it be? We did have an odor study done at that plant as well as plant 1, 2019, 2020 time. If y'all recall, same time we had the study at plant 1, we had one at plant 2. I can reproduce that and give that to Eric who can pass it to y'all so y'all can see. PCQ has been out there. The odor study said, yeah, there's some odors in wastewater plant, but there's nothing dire, doesn't meet, does not break TCQ regulations, so on and so forth. We have had construction in the past 6 months on the headwork structure where the lift station was bypassed. So that can cause some more odor that's not contained in pipes. Doesn't go back 2 to 3 years like you were saying. For the last 6 months, it could. I'll continue looking and seeing if there's something that has been occurring. A 2 to 3 year time period tells me there's something else there. But what I would recommend is if you're open to a tour,
Absolutely.
okay. I don't have a card on me, but I can get you. So do you know? Get you pass it to. Yeah, just call us up. We'll set up a tour. We're glad to take you through it. Maybe there's something we're not seeing that you can point out to.
That'd be great. The first, thought that I had, was an issue I had with line operator, when they turn the digester off to be, right, never left it too long. They decant, and they forget the next day, turn the air on, and that thing's already going to set, and that's the smell and smell.
Okay.
Either there's a problem on collection system, that the incoming sewage is septic, right? Or I don't know, doors, you can digester in something bad on the plant.
Okay.
So, give me a call and I'll be glad to schedule a tour, if you don't mind.
No,
Or on Saturday,
Public facility.
probably on the Saturday afternoon, Saturday morning when the executive center is open.
Yeah, feel free to all the time. We can.
So that's when we had the major problem, when you're doing this, you know, we have not, we have been that there was a lady with us.
Yeah, but,
Yeah, we can work something out with that.
Director for water, that's the question.
just curious, were these, times when you smelled the bad odor, was it in the morning?
Well, it was morning or afternoon.
Either
On
way,
Wednesdays, the recycling center opens from 4 to 7 p.m.
yeah,
So we went there in the afternoon. On Saturdays, it's open from 9 to 2, I believe, or 10 to 2. And that's what we noticed. The majority of the times, the stronger odors that are out, was on the Saturdays,
morning,
mornings,
yeah,
around noonish.
okay, noon, so,
Kind of the holiday time of the day.
yeah. Sometimes on rigs, in the morning when and you get a little bit of a fog or stuff like that, it traps stuff in. When I was working in Permian and the H2S gets into the lows, the little arroyos, and you could get that whiff, and you could get it off the rig. And then in the afternoon when it picks up and the winds pick up and it kind of blows things off. But if you're smelling in the afternoon too, that doesn't indicate that you're getting like a little inversion or something trapping that in there.
No, in my experience as an operator for a very long time, I had like 12 of these for 20 years. And I have, all the hours for the eggs and everything. In my experience, that's not an inversion.
Right.
It's something different, but I will lean towards and I will lean towards some which you would either design of the plan for any all flow of the plan, something that needs improvement, capacity or something, or maybe an operator that needs a bit more training.
Okay.
Thank you very much, sir, for your
Oh,
question.
thank you for listening.
Be very careful, Mr. Lees, maybe I can drag you out of retirement.
We're always looking.
But look to that, Rob.
You might want to rethink. We really appreciate your input, sir. Okay. Ms. Peets, are you through with your?
Thank you, Mr. Rodney. Any questions?
Okay, you moved on a wonderful job. Okay, agenda item 16.
Okay, just have a quick update for you. to bring you back to the last couple months, a couple months ago, you received a presentation by LJA, the engineer Donnie, came in and talked to you a little bit about the modeling and what's been done, and then also the updated cost estimate, which was in excess of the project expectations, the funding that we have in place through the grant and about 67 bond. Since then, the idea was, well, let's see if we can maybe find some additional funding. So we set up a meeting, invited Crenshaw and Toth's office. Toth was there, Crenshaw's office was there, and then some of the water folks were there as well, because some community members. And basically gave the same presentation, where did we come from, what have we been doing, the modeling, what the improvements will benefit the area of Research Forest Drive. And coming out of that, and then presenting that to 67 last month, which occurred after your meeting last month, because their meeting is tomorrow. They and they're really out of that meeting, there wasn't any specific pot of money available from state or federal that would make up the delta. And so the thought was to get the stakeholder group, stakeholder MUDs together to talk about what the next steps forward should be. So MUD 67 has been on the forefront of this project, and you're a participant in it, has decided to create or get the group back together again, basically. And so I'm asking for volunteers to participate in that committee, to meet with all of the project stakeholders to identify what to do now, where to go.
That's like the one. Of course, one reason and one reason not. Come to all the wars and what, so fortunate. Very 20-year knowledge as well from those government boards. Thought that all was gone, got $1 million grant. Just we're in such a fix now because of the ever spiraling cost of construction. But we're looking at it again. We want to protect the residents over in that area as well as the high school students and their property, because when flooding occurs, I mean, it is very localized and has a big impact on a lot of people. And from a health, safety, and access perspective, the project's really needed, but we're in a jam because of the cost. And I would like to volunteer pay, but because of other certain issues, I may not be here when meetings occur. So if we could get an alternate or two representatives, I'd appreciate that. Have to be an alternate.
Oh, we
Yeah,
have two,
We can have two.
we can have two, up to two, so we can have Bob and,
Perfect.
and then the third person as an alternate.
Not really. I think we'd be okay. But thank you for helping me down. Sure, Bill, shy if you can't make it.
So, here you go.
That's great.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Okay, go to the attorney's report, Brian.
Nothing to report from the 17th.
General manager's report, General Manager Peterson. All right, it's 40 through 49 of our meeting.
Yes, wanted to pull out a couple items off of there. One, I wanted to point out, we are developing some ditch condition assessment protocols that are not in place today, but we're going to be putting them in place. We will be developing essentially a regular condition assessment that's going to be done periodically throughout the year, perhaps every quarter, maybe more frequently, and then a post-storm condition ditch assessment, condition assessment as well. So we're developing that process right now. Now that the trustee budget was approved. As you can see, we're in the middle of some building improvements. So exciting times for everyone. You see fresh coat of paint. We're looking at some technology improvements to the boardroom and the public space as well, with TVs and sound, so that folks, if if they can't be in here on a crowded meeting, they'll be able to still see it out from the hallway, looking at, building access and security and some other things. So we'll be slowly kind of picking through that as we go next year. Wanted to point out there's quite a few articles this month that we added to the packet of just articles in the community that affect our area and our neighbors. Might want to read through some of those. Some of them are pretty timely on what our.
On that topic, on page 60, it states that, the industry standard, for replacement is 20% of its pipes over 10-year period. Do we have a history of all, WWA's replacement progress? Is it anywhere close to it? Or in conjunction with, SJRA on your, major transmission lines?
On the water system side,
Yes, sir.
we have not replaced any water lines in their entire segment from what we've originally installed. On the sewer side, we have about 50 miles and then we serve, we've done probably 15 miles worth since 2008. So, but we got rid of all the, concrete pipes. I got rid of them, but see, I compete on them, so the duct was still fine, but yeah, water lines, nothing. Sewer lines for the books and that.
And nothing with the asbestos cement to clean. Hasn't been an issue, the same is true with our system. We too are negligent in meeting industry standards, but if it ain't broke, why fix it?
Yeah, at some point that will need to change for WWA's lines, which are smaller diameter lines, less criticality in terms of the other area that would be affected by a break. You know, certainly we have a break. So a neighborhood, 10, 20, 30 houses goes out. An SJR line goes out, could be hundreds of houses just because it's transmission versus distribution. So a little bit different on the criticality side of things, but we've actually, you'll hear about it next month. We have had some water line breaks, SJR and WWA over the last, 2 to 4 weeks or so. There've been several. So they happened. I don't think they hit the report this month, but you'll see them next month. That's right. It's actually what happened last September as well. A little bit different scenario, which I'm monitoring, but a lot of times when you have long times of drought, last year from June 1 to September, it didn't rain at all. And then it rained middle of September. And then we had probably 4 to 6 breaks over the next couple months. And all of a sudden, again, this same time of year, we've had, I think, 3 or 4 in the last 4 weeks. Different scenario from the drought because it was a wet summer. So I don't know why, if there's any correlation there. Usually it's when it goes dry and wet and dry and wet, but I don't know what the reason it is this time.
I know on the article on page 60, it's from a statistical perspective, it makes sense because Houston is a lot older, right? It's over 50, and our pipes, most of them are.
They're going on 50.
Yeah, they are going on 50. What I'm saying is, so if they've been over there and you've been doing, because that just showed you, looked like you equally put in that many pipes in every year, like 2% every year when you replace. That makes sense. But we're not in that situation, but we're getting there.
Yeah, I think when we read these types of things about our neighbors that may be a little older than us, we need to warning that it will happen at some point. We'll be in this situation. I don't believe we're there yet today.
Standard that 50 years is max for AC pipes. Because the article's just saying it's industry standard. Where the standard is written that you can look at.
I didn't write that, or I don't have
I
idea.
understand you didn't write the article, but this reporter is referencing that the industry standard is that water pipes need to be, 2% within 50 years. So is she saying that 50 years is the maximum life of a water pipe, or is she just saying that at 50 years you should start replacing 2%? I'm not sure if I'm reading this correctly. Well,
I don't know what her intentions were. I don't know. The way I read it was, once it gets to over 50 years, it's it makes sense to start looking at least 2% a year and it ramps up. The older it gets. I had not, wanted to kick it over to John to give the comms report and then we'll jump into.
Quick question. The breaks that you encountered, were they geographically concentrated? And were they similar to the same areas physically? If you put it on a map, were they similar to what you had last year during the 3-month drought? And was it similar to what you've encountered this year after August being so dry?
On the ones I remember, yeah, they're
Are they clustered around?
in the same geographical area. It's not like West Woodlands, East Woodlands,
Right.
South and North are all geographically within the same area. Like, for some odd reason, we're having trouble at, Harper's Landing and Tracy Parkway behind Costco.
I got you.
There's a lot over there. We're having a lot on South and North Mill Bend area,
And a new one on Olive Bridge.
Alden Bridge as well. So it's just, and that was PVC. That's the one that got me, but for the AC lines, yeah, they are seeming to be clustered and circuit.
That's South Mill Bend for some reason.
Okay. We can address that later. We can put it on a map. The reason I bring that up, I used to live in Dallas, then. And, in the summer, shallow, there would be cracks in the surface that would be 6 to 8 inches because of the clay issues they had there and the foundations. It was a nightmare. And one of the things that we learned early on was, you watered your foundation. You kept the foundation wet, so it's constant. And that way you didn't get these, swelling clays and these problems. And it doesn't surprise me, actually, if you had 90 days of drought and 23, you had almost a month here that you would start to see things moving once we got some more rain. And then there could be some deeper issues, the whole issue of faults and such like that. So yeah, I'd be really interested when you bring that in next month, if we can put it up on the map and we'll just sketch it, see where it goes. Because I'm really curious to see if there's any geographical commonality between last year and this year, other than the mechanics of shallow soils. These are buried about what, 4 feet?
Ours started 6 foot.
6, okay, 6 feet down.
12 foot.
Okay, so these are really deep.
Yeah, ours are gonna be more like the 4 or 5 down to 8 or 10.
So they wouldn't be as much subject to shallow drought conditions. It sounds more like it could be a fault. Maybe, have some.
No, we have expensive clays here, and the soils do move. No doubt.
It'll be interesting if we can plot them up and look at it. That's possible.
Yeah, we have them all right now on our GIS label, so let's just bring up the layer.
Just bring it up and then we can look at it.
Yeah, it's not by year though, it's just by grade.
Location.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even I did with the budget chart.
It's sort of like, there may be no pattern, but it'd be interesting to look at. Thanks.
John? Good afternoon, sir.
Page 46 is your communications report. The month there, we are now in the 4th quarter of our strategic plan, focused on value. Infrastructure renewal, you're gonna hear a lot about that in just a minute. So we'll skip over that. Heads up that the water bill coming up this next round is gonna highlight reduction over the water bill going forward. Passing on that reduction, that's your wholesale water rate. Over to 45, if you're scoring at home, you'll see that we've added more to our social media presence. Got some paid advertising going out through Chronicle, Woodlands Online. Initial returns on that are really encouraging. We're getting a lot of engagement off of those ads. That's been a bonus. And then look for Instagram to join that list for this meeting. That's running any day now. Next couple pages, examples of current marketing materials that are out there. I wanted to highlight that Woodlands Water Kids Art Contest. So we had dozens of entries there from 3rd through 6th grade. And pieces of art. We're going to display some of that with some of the new outreach we've got planned for the lobby, fun engagement tools. And then you see our outreach calendar there. You can find that on our online calendar as well. Of course, join us. We always love to have you out there just for a few minutes or the whole time, whatever works for you. You're always welcome. And then I wanted to note one thing that's actually not in your report, which is an upcoming online presentation next Thursday, the 26th. It's by Jason Ramage from USGS. And he's going to be presenting his annual groundwater table data. So it's a summary of the annual study of aquifer water table levels.
Is that a Zoom or?
It is a Zoom. We're going to send all directors an email here in a day or two with all that information on the Zoom link. And then we'll have the recording available. Website.
So 26.
26th at 7 p.m. So that's right. And again, we'll have that recording too.
7 p.m.
7 p.m.
Thanks. You gotta send out an email, right?
We're going to send you an email.
That's great. For this visually challenged people.
Last month, I think you said there was going to be a public education committee moving forward with Holloway
Yes.
and to build a community advisory group made up of directors, TWT directors and interested residents. So is that started now? Can we?
That's the next one.
Okay.
Yeah, you're going to hear all about it in just a second.
Okay, sorry.
Volunteers.
Yeah. That's pretty pictures.
Yep.
For those guys.
Yeah, the next agenda item is just that, number 19 on the agenda. So, as you, perfect segue, last month and really since last fall, the PEC's been working diligently and hard with SGRA. SGRA, contracted with a firm called Holloway, and we've been working with Holloway and the PEC since last fall, I think September, October of this time last year. We've been working on a strategy for what the campaign would look like, the kind of the how it would be built, and then some of the key points, talking points, what the campaign will look like going forward. And part of that process was also to develop a landing page or a website, which you'll hear and see here in a minute. I thought it was a good timing as we're now kind of getting into what I'd call the implementation phase of communication with the residents, that we have Holloway come and talk about, where we've been, what we're doing, what we're going to be doing going forward. And so today with us is Connor and Cindy, and they are here to talk to us a little bit about what we've been doing through the PDC.
We have a brief presentation, like Eric mentioned. We wanted to tell you a little bit about us as Holloway, about the renewal plans, how we got here, next steps, and we talk about the. Next slide, please. So just a little bit about Holloway Environmental and Communications. We're a Houston-based firm. We've been in business for about 30 years. We started as an environmental only consulting firm about 30 years ago. And then about 20 years ago, we launched our communications branch within Holloway. That was born out of a need that we saw back at that time in public involvement. Specifically as it relates to the National Environmental Policy Act. We do most of our work in the greater Houston area. However, we also do work, across the state of Texas, and then we do a lot of coastal planning work and communications around that. And just some examples of current past projects that we've been a part of, are currently working on. The Harris County Map Next program that is looking at remapping all of the lands in Harris County. We've been a part of the Coastal Protection or Coastal Texas project since the study phase there. I'm sure you've heard of the Ike newspaper in the last few years. We do a lot of work with Harris County entities, Metro, with the state level, and with the General Land Office, and at the federal level. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. It's just you go on to the next slide. So what is water renewal ordinance? But it is a collaborative effort by Women's Water, the MUDs, the SGRA, that's focused on long-term modernization and rehabilitation of water and wastewater infrastructure. Those projects are sourced from the SGRA's 10-year project plan, as well as additional projects that Women's Water has identified. Our objectives are, of course, transparency in our communication, education of the public, and our stakeholders, our customers, providing engagement opportunities for our customers, our stakeholders, making sure that they have opportunities to engage with us and opportunities to provide. And then, of course, we want to ensure efficient and reliable water and wastewater services and maintain that infrastructure and soundness. So how did we get here to, how did we get to today? Whenever we first were brought on back last year, we started our process with a needs assessment. So really what that did was serve as a foundation for the development of a communication plan for water renewal. Through that needs assessment, we looked at the ways in which Women's Water SGRA communicates. So everything from the advertisements that John was speaking to that go out and are publicly consumed, the websites of both entities, and even down into just media coverage from the past several years. So all of that informed and helped guide the way that we developed our communications plan. It was finalized in coordination with the Public Education Committee earlier this year. That really serves as a guide for our implementation. So within that not only includes, communication methods, tools, and tactics. How are we going to engage, our customers, the public, but also provides some internal processes to make sure that we're all moving in lockstep and each other as we move into implementation. Another key output of that communications plan was the community working group. Talk more about it here just a little bit. But like as Eric mentioned, we are now at the stage where we're moving into implementation. So one of the first steps after the communication was developed was we wanted to create a brand identity for water. And so that's where our brand identity, our name came up. We provided this or developed this logo. And then in addition to that, simultaneously we put together key messaging for this plan really will serve as the foundation of all of our external communication. Where of course that will be updated and will change. That needs to be dynamic in the sense that we know that things will be updated and that will need to be updated as well. But what at this point with that date will serve as our foundation for content for our website. So Cindy is going to go through the website and preview that to go in more detail in just a second, but just to touch on it real quick here. The purpose of that website is really to serve as a central source of information for the public, stakeholders, and customers. We understand that there is some confusion around who is responsible for what. Cindy will talk a little bit about that. You'll see some infographics on the website to that. So with all that, we wanted to make sure that we had a very clear central source for information where people could understand those differences, as well as also link back to Women's Water and SGRA the website content, the website itself, it's all been developed close coordination with the PMC. It's gone through multiple rounds of review. And I just wanted to point out at this stage, we believe we are ready to launch. And I just want to acknowledge that we'll be looking to add more information as we have more information about projects, as things are clarified more, and we have engagement opportunities. We want to update that side with things. I like that. This is an interactive map. Additional information about funding. That's just the funding. With all that being said, we will pull up on the website and see what we all do.
Okay, well, as Connor mentioned, my name is Cindy Dees, and I'm excited to be here to show you the website that we've been working on. So when you go to waterrenewalthewoodlands.com, you'll be right here on this homepage. And right away, you're going to start seeing us trying to tell the story of what this undertaking is all about, revitalizing, reinvesting, and renewing the woodlands path to progress. And renewal is coming. We have some key decisions
here that we are facing and need to make. And this is talking about that. So we have an infographic. You're going to see quite a few infographics throughout the website. We have an infographic that talks about infrastructure investment being a key decision point once a town or township matures. You do face some of those decisions. I've heard some of that conversation taking place today in this room. So that kind of gives an illustration of that. Go down, you'll see why now. So why is this important to talk about now? We're definitely tying into the Woodlands turning 50. You know, it's kind of a big deal, an exciting deal. And because of the Woodlands maturing, so is infrastructure. And so we talked a little bit here about, you know, what that means. And again, y'all come on back today with some of the main breaks and a water line breaks and things that can happen. Who's involved? We do have some links back to Woodlands Water, SJRA's website, and we would anticipate that they will also be linking back to this site to really create that central hub of information throughout this entire educational campaign. We go over roles and responsibilities, and as Connor mentioned, you know, we definitely picked up on some of the surveying that Woodlands Water has done a great job doing, but there can be some confusion about who does what and how are three entities all related. And so we really wanted to make that clear. So there was a lot of transparency around what this undertaking is all about. You know, everything's right there for you to read and try to get an understanding of how this all works and what the story is. We got a little bit more. What's included? I do want to mention that this site is really, really high level right now because projects, financial information, that is all still being developed and still under consideration. And so as time goes on and the projects and the financials become clearer, of course, this website will be where that information is housed. Right now, what we'll be telling customers and the public is that, you know, renewal plan projects are currently being determined and prioritized, and they're based on several things like condition assessments, expected service life, consequence and likelihood of failure, staff inspections, things like that are how those projects are being evaluated. We'll also have a news and update section. These are just staging articles, so you can get an idea of how that section is going to look. But any news releases or key articles that we want to share about the project will go here. And then stay in touch. This site is not just for coming here and reading, but we also want to engage with you, send periodic updates, project updates, and other information about the project. So you are definitely encouraged to sign up and start getting those. We go back up. There's more to look at here about the plan. It's the next tab, and this does go into more about, you know, what are we talking about? What is the renewal plan? And really synthesizes some of the information Connor hit on in his PowerPoint earlier about where the projects will be drawn from and how those projects will be selected ultimately. If you go down a little bit more, what is water infrastructure? We know that Woodlands Water customers are very, very intelligent and they have a great grasp on how things work as far as water infrastructure, but we do want to get some common language about what we're talking about. And so, you know, understanding what makes up water infrastructure includes things like wastewater as well, of course. Renewal plan benefits. Everybody wants to know, you know, how is this going to impact me, right? How does this impact my family? And so this section really speaks to some of those benefits that people can expect to see through the renewal plan. And then this chart, there's kind of a setup in the language above it, but it does talk about, you know, that asset management life cycle of assets and how you can do things like preventative maintenance, predictive maintenance, and reactive maintenance. And so, you know, as time goes on and assets are maybe not being reinvested at the pace that we would like to see, you could expect yourself to live more in that reactive maintenance zone. So it just kind of goes over that general kind of engineering principle about asset management. Water is serious business. We really wanted to tie water and wastewater back to business and people's livelihoods because it is a big deal and it does impact businesses and quality of life quite a bit. So this infographic kind of speaks to that. And if, you know, proactive investment isn't occurring, here's some things that could happen and here's some benefits that could happen from that investment. And then again, another infographic building on that, just a couple examples here. It talks about how water outages can cause lost sales or revenue for businesses that are reliant on water to serve their customers, even things like as simple as a restaurant or as complicated as an industrial facility. we go down, okay, that's the end of that page, but again, these will grow. As we learn more about the projects, you know, that page will definitely grow. About us, as Connor mentioned, we really want to, hit this concept, to resonate with people of what the agencies do that are all involved, all the parties that are involved in the renewal plan. And so, this goes more in depth, it links back to the source pages like SJRA's page, Woodlands Water, so people can go and read more if they want to. And there is a graphic below that illustrates a little bit more of the roles. And not just, you know, who does what, but also gives some visual about what parts of the system are managed or controlled by which agency. So we hope that will be helpful for folks. And then some more definitions that go along with that graphic above about the agencies, and a repeat of that other infographic. Reason why is this is meant to be like a one-stop shop for people to understand who's all involved with this. All right, and then FAQs. One of my favorite parts of any website is the FAQs because it is dynamic and responsive to the public and the questions that they're asking. So Maureen, thank you for clicking through. You can kind of see how they expand. You know, we brainstormed these questions along with the PEC and Woodlands Water staff and SJRA, you know, trying to hit on what we think will be the most common questions, but none of us have a crystal ball, so I'm sure we've missed some, and the community will definitely let us know what their questions are. If we see a trending topic out there, whether that comes through, you know, in-person meetings, social media, wherever that may come, we can definitely expect to be adding that to this page.
Do you ever get that search engine for the site?
Like when you go to Google,
No, yeah, on the.
oh, on the site,
On the site, yeah, when I'm here already, can I just search for
we
something?
have not put a search engine feature on this page yet. No, but I don't know if we need to, want to write me a little way in on that, but we don't have one currently. Get involved is, this page is not meant to be stagnant. You know, this page is really meant to engage. And so, yes, it is a central location where people can go for information, but it's also a central place we're going to be asking people to go to engage with us. So one example, Connor will touch on this a little bit more, is along with the launch of this website, there will be a survey as well. And so that's an interactive element right away that people can start giving their input. But they'll also be able to fill out forms to sign up for the project updates, or also just ask us any questions that they may. And those are more submit a question. You'll be able to submit a question there. Email list, sign up. People will be able to sign up for the email list, and then events. You do imagine that there will be events that are related to this project, whether they're standalone events just about this project, or it's in conjunction with maybe already existing things going on in the community. Media, we want media to be interested in this project because that's how you spread the word. That's how you build, you know, investment in the project. And so media will be able to go to this page and find all the resources at their fingertips to write a story, to reach out if they want to do an interview, and that type of thing. So we'll, again, I'll keep that one updated as needed. And then contact, there's another form where folks can go if they want to contact main, you know, people that are in charge of this. And then find your MUDs. You know, we're talking a lot about MUDs on this page. So if somebody's like, wait a minute, what MUD am I even in? Well, here you go. It was under the FAQs too, but they can also find it here to find out what MUD they're in. So that is the website in a nutshell. So thank you all so much.
Uh-oh. Okay. We can get that fixed. That's from our send out. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
One more slide.
Oh, shoot. I went too far. There we go.
Alright, so what's next? So we mentioned we're moving to implementation. And so what we are looking to do here, September 19th, this Thursday, is launch this website. Along with that would be the survey. So there is, you know, not just information, once the site is out there, there is a call to action, and there is something for, you know, the public, the customers to do once they arrive to our website. And really right now, we just want to build a lot of awareness about water renewable woodlands. So we'll be doing that through a variety of ways listed there, just a few of the means. Of course, you know, email, news releases, social media, water messaging, as well as some other methods, including, you know, getting in Woodlands Water Weekly and some other potential advertisements. And so that's our near-term launch plan to really build awareness. Further in the future, we'll be Like somebody mentioned, we'll be looking to, schedule and organize larger scale, public open houses, be a part of community events that are already existing, in the woodlands, get out and do some targets. But getting to the community working group, piece, we are seeking an appointment, a nomination, from y'all today to be a part of the community working group. And the community working group, is really, like I mentioned before, an output of our communications plan. And what that will serve, to do is to really build a dialogue, amongst, amongst us and the community. We want to, use that group to better understand community concerns, mitigate misinformation that might be out there. And then they can also really serve as a resource to help distribute information publicly, about what we're actually doing. So, those are our primary focuses there with the working group. The working group would be a composition of, members of each mud, as well as, members of each of the village associations. And then we'll be reaching out to the Chamber of Commerce for, business community representation as well. That will really be the core of our community working group, it's representation from those groups. But we'll also have, we'll also be reaching out to local elected officials, that have presence as well. If they would like to, Howard Hughes Township, Woodlands Water, SJRA would also be a part of those meetings. We understand that, a lot of questions would come up during those meetings and, we want, as best as possible, we want, folks from those, entities to be available and support that discussion. I guess just a little bit more on that. The group itself, I mentioned all those groups. We're looking to keep that between, about 25 and 30 individuals. And we want to keep that is very intentional. We don't want these meetings to be, us just, providing presentation, talking at people. We want these to be, a forum for conversation, for discussion. Like I mentioned before, we really want to understand community concerns, what they're hearing out there, and we want it to be a discussion about it. But with that, we'll open them to any questions.
When you launch the website this Thursday, what sort of, are you gonna make, what kind of online presence are you going to do? Just to know what's available, or is it just out to us?
So,
But just like for everybody.
sure. So we'll be sending out a new release, on Thursday. We'll be sending out direct email notices. We will be coordinating with Woodland Water and SJA to, make posts on social media. We'll be any kind of needs that we have readily available to us. I mentioned leading improvements, water weekly. We'll be looking to get it in the township's newsletter, water bill messages.
Well, I know the messages and all that. I'm just thinking for that day.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. That day it'll be news release, social media, blast, and we'll be following up in the coming days, weeks. So it's
I'm wondering if your last line needs to be a little bit more definition as to what those people are going to do that are going to be on the. There's nothing there. So if you're looking for people to volunteer, what are they volunteering for? I guess that's the answer.
I would say generally to be kind of a conduit to the community, to have the pulse of what's going on, to be sharing that insight with the rest of the committee. And then that group would then help really develop or mold some of the content that eventually gets displayed out there. So, we'll be working together as a group to identify the messaging and as the campaign goes along, but that the messaging is going to have to mold and move as we get input from the community, recognizing where maybe there's some holes and we need to fill those holes with different information or misinformation that we need to pivot and kind of, address that. And so the intention is to have the working group be those individuals that can bring in that kind of sense of what the community is understanding and hearing and seeing and saying.
So Eric, should I assume that once this group is established and they have a meeting, we'll probably have it in our packet for issues or concerns, I would imagine we probably.
I mean, I think the website and the messaging that comes out to the community, regardless of what the outlet is, whether it's the website or, you know, different outlets or e-blasts or the weekly or whatever, that is going to move and grow based on that input that comes in. So, yeah, I mean, if there was, I guess, a real hot spot or hot button topic, I'm sure that would come up, you know, to the top for sure to be shared with everybody. But I don't know if there's any other insight that,
I guess I'll just add that we will document. Things. On each meeting together. You know. Sure. Investors. Cindy, you know, thanks very much.
So we look at for nomination today.
Volunteer.
Volunteer. I want to volunteer. No one else, unless someone else wants to do it.
You need a, just in case something happens.
I can alternate to the alternate.
Very good. Thank you. Excellent. Very good. That brings us to the Board of Trustees report. Manager Peterson, get it here.
okay, page 50. Just the report, we had an update on Region H and Central Regional Flood Planning Group. If you recall, the trustees made recommendation to recommend the appointment of Delta Diaz a couple of months ago. Actually, the technical trustee we gave an update. Then she subsequently, after the recommendation, she was accepted to that planning group, and then came to the trustee meeting to give an update. The other thing I'll point out is the Cornerstone update, and most of you have, I think, heard from them before, but it is a lobbying group that we do utilize with MWA and SGRA. Over the years, they've been responsible for facilitating about $5.4 million in funding for several projects, the Fair Branch Dam rehabilitation project, as well as lift station number 624. So they just basically just have an update. The trustee budget was approved. And that is about it.
We need to do our report session.
All right.